Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has publicly acknowledged receiving the 28-point draft peace plan proposal from the United States, stating that Kyiv is not ready to accept any plan that fails to fully protect its sovereignty and national dignity. Ukraine's government has rejected the reported plan as absurd and a capitulation mirroring Moscow's 2022 demands. He confirmed that a planned meeting with the U.S. delegation was abruptly postponed and that he will speak to President Trump in the coming days. This internal Ukrainian dissent comes amid a fresh corruption scandal that saw Ukraine's parliament fire 2 ministers linked to an investigation involving an alleged $100 million schemes, fueling public anger and raising fresh questions about accountability within Zelensky's government. The 28-point draft peace plan proposal document, delivered by U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll, includes provisions that would prohibit foreign military personnel from operating on Ukrainian soil, restrict Ukraine's arms force to 600,000 personnel, and halt the delivery of long-range weapons from the United States. It also proposed that Russia assume control over the entire Donbas region and half the energy output of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. A particularly contentious element involves the leasing of Donbas to Russia under a legal interpretation of a 2018 Ukrainian Constitutional Court ruling that permitted temporary territorial use for military purpose. This mechanism, according to U.S. officials, would allow Moscow to exercise de facto control without requiring Ukraine to formally cede sovereignty through a constitutional amendment or referendum. The international reaction to the proposal has been swift and polarized. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt fiercely defended the plan, insisting that President Donald Trump has engaged directly with both Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky. However, European leaders, particularly from the EU, stated they were blindsided by the proposal and emphasized that any viable peace initiative must have European support. The reaction from European leaders and international organizations has been one alarm and deepening division regarding the future of the conflict and the unity of the Western alliance. European Union officials expressed frustration at being blindsided by the Washington proposal, noting that they were not consulted on terms that would fundamentally alter European security. High Representative Kaja Kallas and other diplomats argued that the plan offers no concession from Russia and fails to protect Ukrainian sovereignty. Meanwhile, tensions within the European Union have reached a breaking point as Hungary launched a blistering attack on the proposed financial support packages for Kyiv. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban and Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó blocked consensus on new funding, calling the proposals economic suicide and describing the Ukrainian government as a war mafia rife with corruption. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó launched a fierce attack on European Union leaders, accusing Brussels of ignoring corruptions in Ukraine while pushing for an additional 100 billion euros in financial support. He demanded an immediate halt to all EU payments and a full financial audit, calling the ongoing push for more funding and weapon madness. This sentiment was echoed by Sweden's Foreign Minister Maria Malmer Stenergard, who warned that Nordic and Baltic states can no longer shoulder a disproportionate share of Europe's financial support for Ukraine. This internal discord is further complicated by Sweden's Foreign Minister Maria Malmer Stenergard, who warned that Nordic and Baltic nations can no longer sustain the disproportionate financial burden of military aid, urging Brussels to find new funding models. As diplomats grapple with the proposed peace framework, military actions have intensified. Russia launched a massive wave of attacks, with Ukrainian President Zelensky reporting that 476 UAVs and 48 missiles were fired into Ukraine, some penetrating air defenses and causing widespread power outage. In response to these attacks and ongoing frontline pressure, Russian air defense units claim to have intercepted all 4 U.S.-made ATACMS missiles fired at the city of Voronezh, with fallen debris damaging civilian buildings. Moscow also claims to have launched a retaliatory strike that destroyed 2 U.S.-supplied MLRS launchers. The Russian Defense Ministry further reported shooting down 4 UK-made Storm Shadow cruise missiles and 119 drones in a single day. marking one of the largest reported interceptions of the war. These events underscore that despite the flurry of diplomatic activity, the brutal conflict on the ground shows no signs of abating. If you have made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a quick question though. President Trump's leaked 28-point peace proposal introduced the unprecedented concept of leasing Donbas region to Russia to bypass constitutional territory laws. Do you think Putin will agree to the Donbas land lease? After all of his soldiers had to go through to win Donbas over, with tens and thousands of losses and injured, just to give it back to Ukraine after the land leasing time expired? And why? Join the debate. We want to hear your insightful opinion on what this is all heading in our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.